All right, let's get to the elephant in the room. There is a huge story on the Niner front that the Niners have one attitude about it and their fans have a totally different attitude, and that's the offensive line. Shanahan talked about the offensive line today, and he basically said that, that he thought that the whole offensive line returning was important. That continuity is really an important aspect of O-line play. Then he was asked about McKivitz, and he said he's done a hell of a job at right tackle. He's a leader on the team. Then he was asked about Feliciano, and you could see that he loves Feliciano. He's a solid vet who the guys gravitate towards. He's a hell of a dude, is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So if you talk to certain Niner fans, the O line sucks. It's awful, and every guy out not named Trent Williams ought to be looking over his shoulder. If you talk O line with Lynch or with Shanahan, they speak in glowing terms about Brendel and Feliciano and McKivitz. What do you make of that? We have two dramatically different accounts of the Niner O line. The guys who run the team seem to feel good about it. The guys who watch the team feel terrible about it.
Well, I mean, I think it's all in comparison to what you're looking at. So obviously the coaches like their players. They wouldn't want them on their team. They're not going to throw them under the bus. But at the same time, if you see where Brendel came a couple years to where he is now, he's a starting center. He was a journeyman. So yeah, his story's great. Colton McKivitz, a fifth-round pick. They traded Matt Breida a couple years back to draft him out of West Virginia. Came a long way. He became a starter in their team. Feliciano, right? He became a starter. He was this Swiss Army knife guy, a solid veteran. So, do they like those guys? Absolutely. There is continuity. That is important in an O line. But can they do better than that? Absolutely. And I think all the fans see that. When we watch the games, we see, okay, O line's getting trucked. The O line has let up big play, big sacks. Brock didn't get, the time to throw. You look at the analytics. So I see from the fan standpoint, like, yeah, we want to upgrade. We want to have the best offensive line that you can possible. And it's not just replacing these guys because they're solid players, but you can do better. The fact of the matter is Jake Brendel's 32. How long is he going to play center for, right? Trent Williams, he's 36. He's getting close to the end. You need to make sure you have a plan, a contingency plan for him when he's all done. Aaron Banks, great guard. He's been solid. He had a little bit of turf toe last year, but he's in a contract season this year, Larry. He's going to be expensive if he continues to play at the level he has. Feliciano probably get them one more year. He's a good veteran mentor, like they mentioned. He's nice. I like him. Colton McKivitz, is he an elite starting right tackle? No, but to their point, there's really not a lot of people out there in the market right now. So you need to go and get a young stud in the draft. Now, can Colton McKivitz be a good swing tackle? Absolutely. He's really developed into that point. But as a Niner fan, they see Colton McKivitz, he's not a starter. So to their point, yeah, go get an elite right tackle, make him start if he can be that guy. And then if anything happens, Colton McKivitz could come in and be that backup swing tackle insurance policy. I think that's what fans want. But if you just go off of what Kyle Shanahan's assessment, like Colton McKivitz, he's great. Yeah, compared to where he came in as a fifth round pick out of West Virginia, it's been a great rise for him to become a starter. But absolutely, Larry, the 49ers need to upgrade that offensive line. Plain and simple. If they're not drafting offensive line in that first round, people are going to be pissed.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know if they're going to do it in the first round. Shanahan said we're going to keep looking to add. There's the old saying: "You're only as weak as your weakest link." What is the Niners' weakest link on their offensive line?
Right tackle, I think.
You think so?
I
I think
think
it's
so.
Brendel. I think it's Brendel, to be
Okay.
honest.
Okay. Center.
Like,
Okay.
Brendel to me is, as you said, he's 32. He's not that big. He's not that powerful. He was a street free agent. He wasn't drafted by anybody.
Correct.
He was, and anybody could have had him. They plugged him in. They found a way to make him a Pro Bowl alternate. But I saw the way DJ Reader kind of worked him
Ate him.
around this year.
Ate him. Yeah.
I think Brendel's the weak link, to be honest.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, if let's just say the first round comes and the Niners keep that 31 pick. They don't trade up, they don't trade down, they're picking at 31. We all want to see them pick a player that can make an impact, not somebody
Yes.
who may make an impact in 3 years, somebody who can make an impact right away. So that being said, who is the plug and play player that the 49ers that you want to see the 49ers draft at 31?
See, and
Plug
that's the
and play
problem.
player.
That's the problem there. At 31, I want him to get a plug and play right tackle or whatever, center, whatever, a premium offensive, like a guy that you know, and you plug him into this lineup, he's going to be a perennial starter, maybe a Pro Bowler eventually. Like, you want that kind of impact from alignment. But at 31, you may not get that. So you're right. In a sense, they got to go best player available. But in my thing is, if you stay at 31, you're not going to get a plug and play starting tackle right away. I don't think so, because by that point, all the top dogs are going to be drafted. Unless someone slips, like Mims might slip, he might. But if I'm the 49ers, I'm not sticking at 31. I'm trading up. I got 10 draft picks. I pretty much filled most of my holes. I have a squad that I'm pretty much returning with the core players. Your quarterback's back. You just got
Who
to
you
figure out
trading
the
up
IU
for?
situation. Top 15, top 20 pick, whatever, so I can get a plug and play offensive lineman, right tackle. Because Colton McKivitz would be a great sixth lineman. I just don't think he's the starting center or right
Who's your
tackle. And
target? Who do you want?
man, I mean, there's so many of them. There's Mims
Joe
probably.
Alt, Joe
Joe
Alt,
Alt,
they
you're
say
not
is
getting
going
Joe Alt. You're not
top
getting
5.
Joe Alt. You're not getting Joe Alt.
Bashanu, they
Maybe
say, is going top 10.
okay.
Fuaga's going top 12.
Maybe
Latham's going top 20. Mims is going top 25.
you gotta go
Guyton's going
Mims.
top 35.
Maybe Mims. Maybe that's the guy. Maybe that's the
He's
guy.
only made 8 starts. Does that concern you?
No, it doesn't. He's a raw talent, and I think that's what you got to take a gamble sometimes. And I think if that's what you feel could be a star on your team, you got to do it. And then you can get a center. Like, they do need to replace Brendel eventually. I think you could get a center in the third round that could be a starting center. And you give Brendel one more year, because Nick Zakel, I don't think he's the guy. They wanted him to be the guy. I don't think he's the guy.
I'll tell you, if I were drafting for them, just going by this draft tech board, if Tyler Guyton is the top tackle, okay, so then I'm looking at, okay, what else? Who else could I get if I don't go Tyler Guyton?
Fuaga.
I'll say this, since I think Brendel is the problem spot, they got Jackson Powers Johnson going 29, and they have Graham Barton going 47. They have Zach Frazier going 54. And to me, the Zach Frazier film is overpowering. I mean, he's just a monster.
Okay.
So I think if it was me and I'm at 31 and I'm looking for a plug and play player, I'm probably looking for Zach Frazier and starting him over Brendel week 1.
Wow. You upgrade the center.
I'm going powerhouse center with a guy that I think is a dominating player.
I don't hate it, but I'm still worried about my right side of the O-line.
I hear you. Or if I don't go there, I might go Rook Aurora from Clemson, just because he's just such a monster tackle. And then I'll tell you, the guy that I'm really hot on this week is Michael Hall from Ohio State. I don't know. Have you seen Michael Hall?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of his stuff. He's looking good.
I mean, he ran 4.76 at 300 pounds.
That's pretty nasty. That's crazy, actually.
I mean, that's a guy who could really help. I mean, you're talking about a 300-pound guy who can run that well. I don't see an edge rusher there unless Latu falls to them. What do you think? That could be something. I mean, Latu's had a lot of injury problems from UCLA. They're saying he's going 15 to 18, but he could fall. He could fall half a round. He's 6'5", 260 edge rusher.
That
what do you think of the edge rusher?
If I'm going edge rusher and I stick at 31, I hope, which I don't think is going to happen, I hope Chop Robinson falls to the Niners at 31. I would love to get Big Chop Rob. That's the guy I would like at 31, but I don't know if he's going to drop that far.
He had a great workout.
He did.
He had an incredible workout. What about wide receiver? Where are you with wide receiver? Because, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, those guys are going to be gone.
They're going to be gone.
You never know. Brian Thomas Jr. might be there.
Might be there.
Adonai Mitchell is a really good receiver. He may be there. Xavier Worthy, who ran 4.2, could be there.
You know who I like?
Malachi Corley.
I was
Supposedly
just gonna say
the
his name. I would.
Niners had a huge contingent that went out to Western Kentucky to watch Malachi Corley. Maybe you trade back a couple spots and take him. I'm looking at his board at somewhere between 60 and 75. But if you want him in the 40s, you could trade back 10 spots, get a few more picks, and take him. What do you think of Corley?
I think that I just was about to mention because today Mike Garofalo said that the 49ers will have a top 30 pre-draft visit with him. And if you've watched his tape, which I'm sure you have, he looks like Debo Samuel. And we all know next they might be able to replace Debo with the next Debo. He's like the Yak. They call him the Yak King in college. That's literally what Debo Samuel is, the Yak King. So honestly, if the 49ers want a wide receiver, Malachi Corley he is the definition of a 49er receiver right here. He's got all the tools it takes. Man, I would love to get Malachi Corley on this team. This guy is a fantastic wide receiver, especially in the 49ers offense. And with the new kickoff rule, this guy would probably be a hell of a return man for the 49ers in his rookie season. And then next year, you can do what you need to do with Debo, and this is your next guy. I don't know. I think Malachi would make sense.